发球规则是愚蠢的还是裁判错了？安德士林的和林士东比赛中的争议。大家好，我是 EmRatThich。在乒乓球比赛中，发球规则一直是激烈争论的焦点。在最近的安德士林的与林士东的比赛中，我们亲眼目睹了发球规则的争议性和不一致的执行。
Hi everyone, I'd like to take a few seconds to look back at a moment that illustrates just how difficult it is to fairly judge the regularity of a service in the light of the ITTF rules as they are currently written, and also the hypocrisy of the table tennis authorities on this subject. It happened just a few hours ago at the China Smash during a match between Anders Lind and Lin Sherdong. The score was 1-0 for Lin Sherdong, who had a 10-7 lead in the second game. Anders Lind was to serve and he did a tomahawk serve whose toss was called fault by the referee. Indeed, that toss might have not been vertical enough. It's hard to confirm it clearly with the new WTT camera angle, but it doesn't seem as unvertical as several previous serves in the same match that were not called fault, not to mention the numerous obviously fault serves that hadn't been called fault during the very same event the days before. In this case at least, the ball-to-racket contact is clearly visible. Anyway, irritated by this remark, insofar as he considers that his opponent hides the ball when he serves and do not get remarks about it, Anders Lind goes hook serve the same way Lin Sherdong does, and he logically gets another warning. At 10-9, Lin Sherdong is to serve. He does another hook serve that even with the new WTT camera angle one can figure out that the ball goes behind his head. Anders Lind cannot read accurately enough the spin and loses the point. He points it out in his own way, but the damage is done. Lin Sherdong now leads 2-0. Let me remind you the fact that in a recent survey, more than 8 respondents out of 10 would like the current service rules to evolve, so I once again call on the ITTF to take action and erase the imperfections of a text that is not uniformly and homogeneously applicable at the professional level, and even less at the amateur level.
这场比赛中的裁判判罚引发了质疑，再次凸显了 ITTF 规则中发球规则的模糊性。现行的发球规则过于含糊，导致了执行上的不一致。有些裁判认为某种发球是非法的，而其他裁判在不同的比赛中却允许使用相同的技术。这种不一致不仅会对比赛结果产生重大影响，还会令球员和观众感到沮丧。难怪法国的乒乓球爱好者 Monkey Pong 发起了一项针对球员和教练的调查，询问是否需要修改发球规则。调查结果非常明确，是的，规则需要修改。当前发球规则的主要问题之一是缺乏明确性，例如球需要抛多高，10秒才算折当发球。现有规则的措辞太过模糊，每个裁判的执行方式也不同，有些裁判更严格，而另一些裁判则对可以发球王开一面。在安德士林的与林士东的比赛中，裁判的判罚显然不一致，导致了场上的混乱。ITTF 必须解决这个问题。如果规则不清晰且执行不一致，球员如何根据规则调整自己的技术呢？是时候对发球规则进行修订，使其更加精确和统一了。这不仅会让球员在罚球时更有信心，也会让比赛更加公平，观众更加享受。乒乓球需要公平，目前的发球规则并没有实现这一目标。不论裁判经验如何，面对模糊的规则，他们都被置于一个不可能的位置。为了确保所有球员都受到同等标准的约束，避免有人因不公平的判罚而受到处罚，规则的修订是在必行。Pong的倡议是朝正确方向迈出的一步。 很明显，许多球员、教练和球迷都对现行法球规则感到厌倦。我们需要看到 ITTF 采取行动，使乒乓球更加透明和公平。如果不进行改变，我们将继续看到向岸的4零的和临时动这样的有争议的比赛。在这些比赛中，模糊的规则和不一致的裁判判法制造了不必要的喜剧性场面。希望 ITTF 能听到乒乓球社区的声音，做出必要的调整。毕竟，清晰和一致行是任何运动的基石。
Intéressant à creuser, vous ne trouvez pas?
A sample of 300 table tennis competitors from 25 different countries around the world, among which a few professional players such as Alexis Lebrun, has responded to the survey launched in June 2024 by French content creators in order to have an overview of what people think about the current service rules overall, and what they also think about 14 suggestions to make things better or more simple, that had been previously collected on the internet. Here are the results of this survey, which was divided in 2 parts. The first part dealt with the global situation. More than 8 out of 10 people would like things to change regarding the current service rules. Among those people, 9 out of 10 think that umpires rarely call fault illegal serves at the amateur level. 8 out of 10 think that if we'd stick strictly to the rules, more than 50% of the serves should be called fault both at the amateur and professional level. 7 out of 10 think that most of the troubles they have experienced or witnessed in table tennis competitions are related with serve problems. 7 out of 10 think that we would better relax some of these rules that are too complex to control without a VAR-like system. 7 out of 10 think that umpires rarely call fault illegal serves at the professional level. Among the few others who think that the current rules are okay the way they are and that there is no need for a change, 6 out of 10 think that umpires call fault illegal serves most of the time at the professional level. 6 out of 10 think that umpires rarely call fault illegal serves at the amateur level. 3 out of 10 think that from one umpire to another, the interpretation of the service rules are the same at more than 95%, so a majority agrees that the interpretation of these rules might be inhomogeneous. Less than 3 out of 10 think that it's okay if the umpires do not call fault every illegal serve, in order not to disrupt the game. The second part of the survey dealt with 14 suggestions to make things better or more simple that had been collected upstream on the internet. Important clarification to be noted here, these suggestions were not made by the creators of the survey. 6 of these 14 suggestions did not convince the majority of the respondents. Fun fact, one of these 6 suggestions, which is from the Japanese Federation, that suggests the toss height should be set to above the server's head height, is the only official suggestion known to date. It is currently on the desk of the ITTF Sport Commission members, and more than 7 respondents out of 10 has rejected it. They also massively rejected the abandonment of the let rule, the abandonment of the arm removal and ball visibility rules, the ban of the hook serve, the requirement that would state that the ball must be hit between the server's body and the table, in other words the ban of the traditional pendulum serve, and the use of a 2-color ball so that the players and the audience could read more easily the spin. 2 of these 14 suggestions have received mixed reactions. The change in the toss height rule set at least around 30 centimeters, instead of at least 16 centimeters, and the abandonment of the toss spin impartation rule assuming that as long as the toss movement starts with the ball resting freely on the palm of the free hand, one cannot really impart a noticeable spin to the ball when tossing it up. Now, 6 of the 14 suggestions have been well received by the majority of the respondents. 9 out of 10 people would be in favor of the introduction of a VR-like system at professional level. 60% of these people would favor a limited use, whether by the umpires, only in case of doubt, or by the players with only 1 challenge per game for example. 9 respondents out of 10 would be in favor of a higher level of requirements for umpires regarding the serve, combined with a more detailed evaluation grid of their performance, and in parallel they would be in favor of a significant revaluation of their compensation. 8 respondents out of 10 would be in favor of a clarification of the toss verticality rule by replacing near vertically upwards by with a maximum angle of 30 degrees if a VR-like system comes to be introduced at the professional level. 8 respondents out of 10 would be in favor of the relaxing of the palm aperture rule, on the condition that the receiver can see the ball resting freely on the palm of the free stationary hand. Almost 8 respondents out of 10 would be in favor of the introduction of service judges, like in badminton, whose position could be set more in the axis of the table or outside the play space but assisted with a video control system. 6 respondents out of 10 would be in favor of the relaxing of the toss verticality rule, by replacing near vertically upwards by simply upwards, on the condition that the toss obviously travels more vertically than horizontally. Before we conclude, here are a few more suggestions by the respondents. Emphasize the rules of the game aspect in the training of table tennis coaches. Referee training for all young competitors in clubs from the first years of table tennis. Allow the ball to pass behind the head or arm if the ball racket contact is clearly visible to the opponent. Reinforce the visibility rule to make it easier to check. For example, stipulate at pro level that both referees must be able to see the ball at all times when serving. Don't wait too long to change the rules, because in the meantime, the bad example of unsanctioned champions on the international circuit is spreading, and the longer we wait, the more complicated it will be to change. Ask national and international table tennis bodies to state loud and clear the need to respect these rules, and to support courageous referees instead of encouraging political correctness at the altar of the game's fluidity. That's it. We would like to warmly thank the 300 people who took a few minutes to respond to this survey, and now we hope that these results reach the eyes and ears of the decision makers at the ITTF. Please do something. You have a few interesting avenues to be pursued here, don't you think?
Read more about table tennis on my blog, PingSunday.com. Get free ebook and coaching advices. See you in the next video.